Hello, I'm Ollie, and this is Criminolly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, I'm going to talk about me. I'm doing the 25 random questions tag. I was tagged to do this by MJ from Reading This Life, who did it when she hit a subscriber milestone. I think it was 300 subscribers. If I got that wrong, apologies, MJ. She suggested, so she tagged me in it and suggested I do it when I hit 2,000, which I have now done. So I am dutifully doing the tag. It seemed like a good way of doing kind of a Q&A without actually having to ask for questions. So let's go through it. So there are 25 questions, so I'm going to rattle through them fairly quickly so I don't keep you too long from your lives. So first question, what's your channel about? Well, you know what my channel's about, do you? It's about books, and particularly crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Question 2, how old are you? I am 49, thank you very much. So 49 this year, so 50 next year, so not looking forward to that quite so much. Question 3, what's your relationship status? So I am married. I have been married for, I should know this off the tip of my tongue, shouldn't I? What year are we in now? 22, so I've been married for 19 years. So this summer I will have been married for 19 years. So yeah, 20th wedding anniversary next year, as well as my 50th birthday. Next question, did you go to college? It says, did you go to college / occupation? Which doesn't really make sense as a question, but I think I get what they're getting at. So did I go to college? Yes, but we call it university over here because we're different. So yes, I went to Sussex University, which is on the outskirts of Brighton. So I now live... So having grown up elsewhere in the country, I stayed down on the south coast after university, studied media studies, which was very interesting but completely useless as a degree, but I did quite enjoy it while I was there. And occupation, so I do something completely unrelated to my useless degree. I work for a bank, and I work in kind of in the change area, managing a team or working alongside, I guess, a team who deliver software that's used by colleagues. So my job is to like liaise with the business and figure out what they want us to develop in the software next, what direction they want us to take it in, how we can help them more, that kind of thing. Okay, question 5, where are you from and where do you live? So I was born in London, grew up in Hertfordshire, which if you don't know it is kind of about an hour north of London. And then, as I said earlier, when I went to uni, I moved down to the south coast, so about an hour south of London, and that's where I now live. So yeah, live on the south coast, work in London when I'm in the office, which is about once a week at the moment. It was full time in the office at one point, but now mostly in this room, surrounded by my books. Yes, so yeah, live on the south coast. Okay, next question. Looking back, what would you have told your 10-year-old self? I don't know. This is one of those really difficult questions, isn't it? Maybe don't do media studies. Actually, yes, that's what I would have told my 10-year-old self. And I say this to my son. So I would have said, think about what you want to do. Think about like a realistic career goals, and think about the best way to achieve those goals or to set yourself up well to achieve those goals through your education. And then in brackets, don't do media studies. Okay, next question. Tell us about your family. So one wife, as mentioned, just the one, who is roughly the same age as me, well, almost exactly the same age as me, and a son who is 14, who you will have seen on the channel if you watched my 1,000 subs Q&A. So he was the question master for that. So yeah, just the two of us and the cat Venus, who you would have seen in the Garb August announcement video. She has popped up occasionally in other videos as well. Next question, what's your favourite holiday? So I did answer this on another tag, on whatever tag it was that I did last week. I can't remember what it was now. So my favourite holiday was my honeymoon, which is to the Maldives, which is a really magical place. So yeah, it was just fantastic. It was a once in a lifetime holiday, but yeah, really a very beautiful place. I thoroughly recommend it. Okay, next question. So this question, I think, I don't know if this is like a transatlantic thing, but I think the wording of this question is wrong, or at least I read it wrong. So it says, you have no budget, what is your dream vacation? So I think what that means is budget is no object. There is no limit to your budget. What's your dream holiday? Whereas I initially read it as, you haven't got any money, what's your dream holiday? So if I had no money, my dream holiday would just be to stay at home and read. So let's cover that one off first. If I did have a budget, my son really wants to do a railway tour of Europe. So travelling around Europe, going to all the capitals, or many of the capitals, completely using the railway, so public transport, because he's really into kind of public transport and really anti-car. So yeah, I would love to do that. I think that sounds like a really fantastic and enjoyable holiday. So yeah, plus I do like long train journeys. Okay, next one. Name your biggest pet peeves. Just like obvious ones, like people being arseholes, really. So I just don't like people being rude and noisy and aggressive. Next question. What book changed your life? So I don't have a physical copy of it, but the book that changed my life is a book called Alcohol Explained, which is by William Porter, which is a bit of an ironic surname, isn't it, given that porter is a drink. So this is a book about the physiological effects of alcohol on the human body and what makes it addictive. And it was a book that I read in the awareness that I was probably drinking more than I should do. And it really opened my eyes and it really rang true to me in terms of its description of how alcohol makes you feel. And I haven't had a drink since I read it, which was about 10 months ago. So yeah, that has definitely changed my life. And no exaggeration, I think if I hadn't stopped drinking, I wouldn't have been able to do this YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel started not that long after I finished drinking, and I just don't think I would have had the time or the energy to create the videos at the rate I do if I was still drinking. Next question. What simple invention improved the world? So it's the printing press, isn't it? Obviously, that's the obvious answer for this question. I'm not sure if it's the answer everyone else gives, but it's got to be the printing press. Okay, next question. Favourite movies or TV shows? I'm not like a massive watcher of TV. And I think that's partly because I don't like the time commitment that goes with TV shows nowadays. I don't like the fact that you have to watch every episode of a TV show in order to enjoy it. And in order to feel like you've got the full experience from it. There's nothing more frustrating than a series being cancelled, after two seasons, or just falling out of love with a series after you've invested 60 hours in watching the first 3 seasons. So I do watch some TV, but I don't really watch much at all. So I don't really have a favourite TV series. Favourite movies, so all from a similar-ish time in my life. So one of them is a little bit later, so Grosse Pointe Blank with what's he called? I've completely forgotten the name of the guy. John Cusack and Minnie Ryder and Dan Aykroyd. So yeah, I love that movie. I think it's a great movie. If you've not seen it, it's about a hitman who's kind of having second thoughts about being a hitman, basically. And it's a romantic comedy, but it's really well done. So that one, and then all from a similar time, so mid-80s, which was, as far as I'm concerned, the golden age of cinema. So Day of the Dead, the George Romero, the third movie in his zombie series, which I think is an amazing film. RoboCop, the original, obviously the Paul Verhoeven version from the mid-80s, which I think is just one of the best action movies, one of the best science fiction movies, one of the best comedies, one of the best horror films. It's just a fantastic film. Blue Velvet, the David Lynch movie, which I think is absolutely brilliant. I think Dennis Hopper's performance in that is just staggeringly good, but all of the cast are wonderful. So yeah, really, really love that. And then another one that I've written down the initials of, and I can't remember what it is. Oh, Ferris Buellers Day Off. So a bit of John Hughes cheese, but I do think it's a really well done film. So yeah, there's a few of my favourite movies for you. Describe yourself using 3 fictional characters. So obviously when I made the notes for this, I thought I'd put notes for all the questions that I needed to think about, but I haven't written anything next to this one. So I don't know. 3 fictional characters. I don't know. I pass. That's too difficult. I'm not going to answer that one. Next question. What was your dream job? So my dream job as a teenager was to be a film director, which is why I did media studies. But with the benefit of hindsight, it was a pretty ridiculous dream, and it's a very difficult job to get into and be successful at. So yes, so yeah, didn't work out. Okay, next question. If magic was real, what spell would you learn first? Flying. I think being able to fly will be awesome. So A, it will be awesome, and B, it would just be really convenient for getting about. Okay, next one. Share a favourite childhood memory. So this is a bit of a vague one. I was trying to think of a favourite childhood memory. And I have a terrible memory, so I don't remember that much about my childhood, to be honest with you. But I do remember... So my paternal grandparents, my sister and I used to go and stay with, in the holidays and things like that. And they were wonderful. And I remember one time then we were staying with them and they took us out on a trip and they didn't tell us where we were going. And where we were going was Thorpe Park, which if you're in the UK, you will know is a kind of medium-sized, reasonably good amusement park. It's no Disneyland, let's put it that way. But it was like we'd heard of it, and it was just the most exciting thing ever to us. I don't really remember what we actually did when we got there or anything like that, but I do remember them telling us in the car when we got near, and you could see the signs that that's where we were going, and how excited I was by that. Right, next question. What's your favourite social media platform and why? I don't really have one, so I think all social media is, I have a problem with all social media because it is about exploiting psychological, weaknesses that we have as human beings. So, parts of our psychology that induce addictive behaviour if given certain stimuli. So I think all social media is like that. I mean, I have used in the past Twitter quite a lot. Don't really use it anymore. I do use Instagram sometimes. I've heard a few people quote YouTube as the answer for this. I don't really think of YouTube as a social media in the same way as other social media, because I think of social media as something where everybody contributes. So everybody posts. Whereas I think, and I know you can be like a passive user, if you like, of like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and things like that. But I think it's much less common. Whereas on YouTube, I think being a subscriber and a viewer and, a commenter and things like that, without being a creator, is really common, clearly. So I think there's a much bigger, I think YouTube is a slightly different kind of thing. The one I do like, and again, I don't know if this is really social media, is Discord. So Discord, I think, is because you can choose the communities you take part in a way that you can't, Twitter and Facebook, I think, is starting to try and introduce things like this. But I think Discord just does it really, really well. Just having small focus communities where you know everybody and you can just chat about stuff. It reminds me very much of, so I was a big user of like forums in, I guess, the 90s and early 2000s. And I think Discord is, feels very much to me like the forums did back in the day when I was on, I was particularly on kind of watch forums and things like that back then, but video game forums and things too. Okay, right, I rambled on a bit there, didn't I? Okay, if you could pick any book character, who would you spend the day with? I would spend the day with Jesus because he seems like a really nice, chilled out guy. B, he could do miracles and stuff like that, apparently. And, everyone loves him. And I could ask him, what his opinions were on gun control and, the right to, the woman's right to choose and things like that. So, I'd get his views on abortion and guns and just hang out with him. I mean, obviously I don't drink, so the turning water into wine thing, wouldn't be that great for me. But I'm sure we could have other people along as well, and I'm sure they'd enjoy that. Plus, he can do loaves and fishes, so we wouldn't go short food. So, yeah, Jesus is the person I would spend a day with. Next question, what's your spirit animal? I don't know. I did put an answer to this one and it was just no clue. I don't know. I don't have a spirit animal. Next question, what old person thing do you do? I think I probably do all of them. So I think I'm very forgetful. I make noises when I get out of a chair. I doze off in the afternoon. I can be quite grumpy about things. I switch off lights. I'm constantly switching off the TV because people have left it on. yeah, I think I'll do most of the old person things. If there's an old person thing that you don't think I do, suggest it in the comments and I'll tell you whether I do it or not. Okay, do you have a hidden talent? No, I'm pretty confident I don't have any hidden talents. Okay, next question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? So, honestly, I see myself here, doing the same stuff. So I'm really enjoying my life at the moment, if I'm honest. I'm enjoying doing YouTube. I have a job that I enjoy and that is fulfilling and where I feel I am adding value. I really like the people I work with. I'm financially stable. So I'm hoping that in 5 years' time, I'll be doing exactly the same stuff. And that may sound very boring, but I'm just, and maybe this is typical when you get to my sort of age. I've got to the point in my life where I am completely comfortable and chilled and happy. So, yeah. Right, next question. Share an item and tell us its significance. Right, bear with me because I meant to get it out and I forgot. Okay, so this is it's not a hidden talent, but it's my claim to fame. I can't open, so it's in a plastic box and I can't open the plastic box because it's been preserved in this plastic box for 9 years. And I fear that if I open the plastic box, it will just crumble to nothing. However, this is, I don't know if you can see it, and I don't know if it will mean anything to people. So this is what we call in the UK a hula hoop. Yeah. So not the type of hula hoop that you put around your waist and wiggle about. It's like a potato-based snack. So like a chip. But it's got a hole which you can't really. You can maybe see the hole through the middle there. So it has a hole through the middle. Now hula hoops are normally about the width of my finger. So they're normally like about that wide. And one day I bought a pack of hula hoops and had this hula hoop in it, which as you can see is probably 10 times as long as a normal hula hoop. I'll put up a picture of a normal hula hoop so you know what it's supposed to look like. So I was amazed by this and have kept it ever since. I put it on Reddit when I found it, and it made the front page of Reddit. And it was also featured on BuzzFeed. So a journalist from BuzzFeed contacted me, having seen it on Reddit. So there was a little write-up of it on BuzzFeed as well. So this is a significant item in my life, which I've kept for, as I say, nearly 10 years now. So yeah, gaze in awe at the giant hula tube. Right. Okay. Now tag some people. Right, I'm not going to tag any people. So this is the final question. I'm not going to tag any people because I think this is one of those ones that's been around for a while. It does feel, as MJ suggested, like a good one to do if you hit a milestone. So I'm not sure if anyone I've subscribed to is got upcoming milestones. But if you have, I suggest that you do this when you hit them because it was quite fun to do. Okay, now it's time for a random book from my shelves for me to ramble about very quickly. So the book I have is... This book is Full of Spiders by David Wong, which is the sequel to John Dies at the End. So I read John Dies at the End years and years ago and really, really liked it. Immediately got this and still haven't read it. And I looked inside and there is a theatre ticket inside that I'd obviously put in as a bookmark, which is from 2014, which ironically is the same year as the hula hoop. It's from a few months after the hula hoop. But yeah, so I obviously put this bookmark in there thinking I was going to read the book and still have not read it, despite the fact I really liked the first book. And there's now a third one out as well. So yeah, I definitely need to get this. We'll get to this at some point. So if you don't know, they're just really crazy, over the top, very funny horror novels. So yeah, I need to read the first one and then I can read this one as well. So anyway, hope you found that interesting. And as always, I hope you're safe and well. Hope you're really good stuff. And I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.